while back, I did a demo of this guy here, the Orangewood Hudson Torrefied Spruce Live. It's a mouthful of a name, and it's an excellent guitar. I actually sold the guitar, the acoustic guitar that I've had around, that I've been using as my main acoustic guitar for like 20, 25 years or something like that, after demoing this guitar, because I was like, I don't need to have two full-size acoustics in my life. Might as well like pare it down, and I like this one better. So if you're looking for an endorsement, there it is. But recently, Orangewood hit me up and they're like, you still have that thing? I was like, yeah, I still have this thing. They're like, we want you to compare it to our best selling model, which happens to be nearly a third the price of this. So I was like, that sounds like a fun video. I'm down to do that. So in this box is the Orangewood Echo. Let's crack it open and see what it's like. So we've got a soft case here, a gig bag, versus the hard shell case that the Hudson came in. So already seeing a difference in what you get for the money. And I haven't even looked at the guitar yet. Personally, I kind of prefer soft bags because you can roll them up and shove them in a cubby and stack them all together and put other things inside of them and collapse them down. A hard shell case, when you're just going to play the guitar and have it around, takes up a lot of space. So yeah, I'm a lover of gig bags, honestly and personally. Unless I'm going to fly somewhere or like ship a guitar. Even if I'm going to ship a guitar, like you can wrap it up pretty good in cardboard these days. Let's see what we got here. Any extras? Oh, included pick guard and an Allen key, and that's it. It's a decent looking gig bag, nice and plush and soft on the inside. It's not one of those hybrid soft bags that feels like it might be just as tough as a hard case. Let's see what we got here. It's shiny. The Hudson has a matte finish. And this one's got a gloss finish, the Echo. This is apparently their best-selling guitar, and I think it comes in at like $375, $350, something like that. Let's pull up the actual specs. $345. I was close. I'll list off specs as we go. Has a wood glue smell, which should be expected. I'm trying to place the brand. I can't place the brand. Not that I thought that I could, but it's giving me serious flashbacks to high school woodshop. So it's probably whatever glue my woodshop teacher was using in the 90s. All right, let's take a look at this thing. What do we have here? Like I mentioned, glossy finish on the body, front, back, and sides. Matte finish on the back of the neck. That's nice for a nice, smooth, comfortable playing neck. Feels like a similar neck profile, probably the same exact neck shape. Frets feel good right off the bat. We've got closed back tuners with black nylon tuning pegs on it. I wonder if this uses a tusk nut like the Hudson. Oh, it's bone. The nut and the saddle are both bone. I was pretty sure this one uses tusk. Yeah, it's even printed on the nut itself. Interesting. You get bone on the cheaper one and tusk on the more expensive one. Got an abalone inlay here. I don't know what other details to call out. I don't typically cover acoustic guitars, so I'm not totally sure what the acoustic guitarist out there wants me to explain or describe about this thing. Let's talk about the materials, though. I know that it's got laminated sides, but it has a spruce top. Let me check just to be sure, though. The top wood is solid Sitka spruce. The back and sides are layered rosewood, so laminated, like I mentioned. The neck is mahogany. The fretboard and the bridge are made out of rosewood. And let's check out the specs for the Hudson now to compare. The Hudson's top wood is torrefied solid Sitka spruce. So it's the same wood from the same tree, but it's torrefied. I'm actually not totally sure what torrefied means. I've got a guitar with a torrefied neck, and I have this guitar, obviously. I'm assuming it's similar to like when you see baked maple necks on electric guitars. I think it's some sort of treatment to age and dry out the wood. I'm totally spitballing there. I could be totally wrong. Maybe editing Ryan will pop up with a definition of what torrefied means. The back and sides are solid mahogany, so it is not a laminated wood on this guitar. Mahogany on the sides and the back. The neck is mahogany as well. The fretboard is ebony, and the bridge is also ebony. So depending on how you think about woods, I mean, classically, those are more premium options. You've got solid sides and back on the Hudson, as well as a torrefied top and ebony fretboard, while the cheaper version here, the Echo, has laminated sides and a rosewood fretboard and just regular spruce for the top. There's nothing wrong with regular spruce either, though. So let's get it tuned up. I'll play around with it for a while, and then we'll do some comparisons. Something I forgot to mention is that the Hudson actually has an LR Baggs electronic situation in there, so you can plug it directly into a PA or a recording interface or an acoustic amplifier or whatnot. And the Echo simply does not have anything like that. It is just an acoustic guitar. Also, I want to point out that I hit up Orangewood and I was like, what strings exactly, the exact gauge and brand and model do you put on your guitars before you ship them? Because I want to make sure that I have those fresh on the Hudson before I do that comparison. So they told me what they are. Let me pull that up really quick. I changed the strings on the Hudson last night, and it maybe has like 15 minutes of playtime on it. So that's what you're going to be hearing. The fresh strings on this guitar versus fresh strings that have 15 minutes of playtime on them. Ernie Ball Earthwood Phosphor Bronze Medium Light. That's what we have on both of these guitars. By the end of this video, they'll probably be aged like almost identically. All right, here we go. Great big open G chord for my first strum on the Orangewood Echo. It sounds like an acoustic guitar. The action is set up nice and low. I'm expecting it to go out of tune a little bit here and there since it is fresh out of the box. Sounds nice. So let's start moving towards doing a comparison now. When it comes to really any musical instrument, acoustic guitars, electric guitars, underwater guitars, whatever type of guitars you can think of, the sound of it is really entirely subjective. I think as far as like the price differences go in between something like this and something like this, it all comes down to perceived value in specs and build quality. Now, I have only spent a couple minutes holding this, but my initial impressions are that it's built to the same quality as the Hudson. I'm not experiencing any perceived quality difference. Like if you handed this to me and said it was the same price as the Hudson, but didn't tell me any of the specs, eventually I'd figure out it doesn't have electronics in it. But I probably would have a tough time right off the bat, first impressions, being able to tell you which one was worth more or less, or if they were worth the same. Like it just feels like a very, very, very similar build, which is impressive. So let's do some simple comparisons here and see if there are any sound differences. Oh, there are. Let's do that again. This has a richer, fuller sort of sound to it. And don't try to tell me it's because these strings are 10 minutes newer than the other strings. Oops, I own it now. This guitar, the Echo, has a bit more of this tin can nasal sort of thing going on. It's certainly not the most nasal acoustic guitar I've ever played, and certainly not the most tin can-like acoustic guitar I've played. But in comparison to the Hudson, that is definitely what I'm picking up. And I'm sure you could compare the Hudson to another guitar, and in that comparison, the Hudson would be the more tin can nasal guitar. It's all personal preference. It's all about what sound you want to fit into your mix, or what you think complements your voice, your singing voice, or something like that. I will say I think the Echo projects a little bit louder. The Hudson has a darker, more mellow tone. If I had to make like retail comparisons, I'd say this reminds me more the direction of like a Taylor style sound, and this is more the direction of like a Takamine, or even going towards but not quite a Martin. And just keep in mind that I'm not super experienced with acoustic guitars, especially not as far as covering them goes on the YouTube channel here. I used to play acoustic a lot more in my teen days and my college days and stuff like that. But I've been mostly electric since then. I'm not completely devoid of experience with acoustics. I'll say that. I used to do a lot of busking. I used to go out on the street late at night and throw a hat down and make dozens of dollars sometimes being obnoxious on the street corner while everyone else went into clubs and partied and had fun with their friends. I just wanted to play music out on the curb. I don't regret it. I think I made the right decision. What do you guys think? I don't know where I'm going with that. Tonally, I'd say the Hudson is more of a rhythm guitar, and this is more of a lead acoustic guitar, if there's such a thing. I'm just picking up more of a twang from the Echo. It just sounds different. They sound different from each other because they're made with different woods, but they really do feel very, very, very similar in quality. In fact, let me put the microphone aside for a minute. I want to go over each of them in time lapse here to see if I can find any QC issues on either of them at all. I can't find any significant differences in the quality of the build outside of different materials that are being used. There is one slight difference in the necks. The Hudson has a two-piece neck, this being the main piece, and then a second piece down here, but it doesn't have a third piece up at the headstock, where the Echo does have a joint right here as well as a joint right here. So it's a three-piece neck. And I will say that it's just not as visibly attractive from the perspective of the person holding it, but it's so slight that if I hadn't been looking for it, I probably wouldn't have noticed. Like, you get these nice, like, straight, long grains through here, and then it gets a little bit spotty in the grain. But that has nothing to do with the playability or theoretically the sound of the guitar. I'm sure someone would argue either way on that one. But yeah, I think the only reason for the price difference is materials differences, as far as using solid woods or laminated woods on the sides and the back of the Echo here, and maybe some hardware differences because this has more standard just closed back tuners, and this has some sort of open back tuner. So maybe this is a special open back tuner that costs more or something like that. It's a more premium option, or it's just a style difference. And this doesn't have the electronics. As far as looks go, I mean, I actually picked this one. When I did my demo of this one, they asked me to pick which guitar I wanted. So I went with one that has aesthetics that I go for. I'm not a big fan of abalone. A lot of people love abalone. A lot of people see abalone as a premium option, as an upsell. I like a flatter, more traditional, folky sort of look. So I went for this matte finish and this more traditional sort of inlay around the sound hole and the edge of the guitar. But that's all looks. This one's all glossy and it's got abalone and stuff like that. But where it counts, the playability, the quality and the construction, how it feels, I mean, the looks are subjective. Like I said, I think it looks very attractive. It's nice and shiny. There's no weird spots in the polish or anything like that. This is a $345 guitar. And I've seen all sorts of QC issues on electric guitars that I've covered over the years that land in that price point. And this is not showing any issues. I mean, I've also seen, you know, $350 guitars that have no QC issues whatsoever. So, you know, they're doing it. They're delivering a good quality guitar here for the money. What do you guys think though? What do you think of the sound of this? What do you think of the looks? What do you think of the price? What's your impression of the brand? I've had a very strong impression so far across 2 guitars. I've got a guitar that costs, I think, $1,100 after taxes and stuff like that, and then a guitar that costs $345. And I can honestly say they both play and sound great to my ear. Like the material specs and stuff like that, it's all subjective. But I'm pretty impressed that they're maintaining quality across price points. So anyways, thanks for watching. Please like, subscribe, dislike, leave me rude and nasty comments. Support us on Patreon. Buy a shirt if you're naked. Click all the links down below if you're interested in these guitars. Also, I have general kind of like affiliate links down below. So if you're going to shop for anything, really, go grab my links and make them your bookmarks. It helps me out. It helps fund the content that I make here and put food on the roof and diapers on the table and all that other stuff. So anyways, thanks for watching. Bye, everybody. Stay grounded.